This kind of acted as a bridge chapter in between action scenes and really just showed us that Gaara and company are pretty frickin' badass. Naruto, number 57, 10 hours earlier. Well, hello, my brothers and sisters and prospective chunin of the Nerd Nation. I, as always, am Jim, here to bring you another review on the awesome and adventure-filled, curse-ridden, hair-cutting tale of Naruto. Now, our last chapter saw us with Sasuke, of course, just unleashing some of that unbridled power that he has, seemingly due to the bite from Orochimaru. I was going to call him Orochimaru. I don't even know what the hell I was going to say. But anyway, the chapter wound up just, ending off with of course, Sasuke having unleashed that power and the Sound Village ninja team just taking off, saying, here, take our scroll, please just let us leave with our lives, and they take off. And that's where the chapter left off. That's right where the chapter picks up, and actually, to be honest with you, there's not a lot of content in this one, not a lot of important content. The first majority of the chapter, 13, 14 pages, is really just kind of the aftermath. Naruto is kind of dreaming, and he's still, as he goes and wakes up, he still thinks Orochimaru is around, and he's like, everybody get down! So he's sort of like having just some weird sort of flashback type things. But anyway, and he's of course perplexed at, like, okay, why is, and I'll just call it Team Guy. Why is Team Guy here? And why is, I know Team 10 is the other one with Ino and them. And, he has no idea what's going on, right? So nonetheless, though, everybody, just kind of laughs at him and calls him clueless. At one point, they even say that he's destined to always be a background character. He can't even be the star of his own life, something like that, or his own comic. And I like little nods like that. But for the most part, really what it is it's, Ino offers to go and trim up the rest of Sakura's hair to match everything. Sakura just kind of plays it off, like, because Naruto's like, what the hell, your hair, and she's like, no, it's nice having long hair and all, but she just kind of plays it off like, we're out here, we're in the middle of this exam, we're in the middle of this forest of death, and, it's just too much to manage, so I went for a different look. Obviously, we all know why she actually cut it and everything else, but nobody, seems inclined to go and actually fill Naruto in on what's going on. There's a little bit of just kind of, I guess, sort of like a little bit of infighting, between Ino and Sakura. Just like I said, nothing of real consequence over here. Lee gets back up, and and Lee, vows to be stronger and to be this and to be that, and I think it's 10-10 from his team is just like, what, if Lee was not distracted by being head over heels for Sakura here and thinking he needed to save her and the honor and everything else, then he could have taken these ninjas one-on-one. So again, there's really not a ton of importance, and I hate to go and downplay it because I did go and read it over again just to make sure that I hadn't missed anything. But again, it's kind of one of those bridge chapters where it's kind of like we had a number of chapters where it was just real tense and intense, and this is really just kind of one of those like, all right, let's gather our thoughts, let's figure out everything over here, and let's move on, But we do wind up seeing Anko. And Anko, when we left her last, she was, of course, locked in a death battle, it looked like, with Orochimaru. But Orochimaru, of course, had warned her not to stop the exams or he'd destroy the village, the Leaf Village. And so anyway, so she winds up coming upon and actually finding these two covert spec ops type guys that were supposed to come in and help. That were sent in, and she's like, God, you guys are the slowest spec ops people I've ever seen. And they're like, hey, just chill. So she tells them what's going on, and they're like, we got to report this to the Hokage immediately, And she's like, no, we can't. And they're like, no, you don't get it. This is more important. This is bigger. If Orochimaru makes it to the village, and then they also talk about, they show what I thought was of something of consequence to note was that her mark from Orochimaru, her cursed mark, had popped up and came to the surface. So I don't know if this is something where you can eventually, kind of get this out of your system and then it comes back when he's around or what. I don't understand a lot of it yet, but I'm certainly thrilled and excited to find out as we go deeper into the just the whole kind of mythos and everything that surrounds Naruto and Naruto itself, not the character, just the actual book, the manga. So, so that kind of pops to the surface, and then she's like, and of course we know that she can't stop the Chunin exams, or that's going to go, and Orochimaru is going to go fucking just crazy and kill everybody. So she's like, listen, no, we got to go to the tower in the middle of the forest, center of the forest, and you know, I'll explain to you, you know, on the way there, and then we can, you know, we can even have the Hokage meet us there and let him know what's going on, fill him in. So they get to the tower, which by the way is pretty cool looking too. I actually thought this was kind of neat. They actually show the tower over here. And it was pretty cool. I think we saw it briefly, you know, maybe. But for me, some of these structures and stuff, the way they're drawn and made is actually pretty cool. But Anko gets there, right? And she's kind of laying it out for everybody, explaining what's happening, this and that. And all of a sudden, like, I guess one of the assistants or somebody that has to do with the exam bursts in and is like, whoa, 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 hold on a second. She's like, what? We're in the middle of something. He's like, no, you got to see this. You got to see this shit. So the chapter ends with him going and putting in this tape, you know. And he says, This was taken 97 minutes after the exam started. So, you know, for those of us here that, you know, that can obviously break that down time-wise, that's an hour and 37 minutes, just over an hour and a half, right? About the amount of time that it takes to probably watch 10 or 12 of my reviews. You know, if I'm not getting too wordy over here. But they wind up showing on the last page, which I thought was kind of cool on the video. It's like a double-page spread. It was actually, they completed it, and they're like, this is a new record. It's unprecedented, right? It's the ninjas from the village of Sand. There's Gaara right there, and I always forget the other dude's name over here with the mask, but I'll get them all down eventually soon enough, rest assured, as we go into the tale. But I thought it was kind of a cool, it was actually a really neat drawing the way it was drawn. And it's drawn to look like fuzzier because it's actually like watched on the playback of a surveillance camera. But the idea is they're like, we got to let everybody know this is unprecedented, unheard of, you know, in just 97 minutes. And I mean, and Anko's just like, it's not even possible. So they completed this shit apparently, or at least so what the video shows, in an hour and a half. So I can see why some people are really big on these, you know, these ninjas from the, you know, from the village of Sand, because that's insane. I mean, you think about the Forest of Death and how many kilometers is and everything else. I mean, just like straight out, like even if you didn't stop to take out another team to get their scroll or whatever, just getting to the center of that forest, it's like kilometers huge, right? It's not a walk in the park, and all the dangers that are in it and everything else. I just thought that was pretty neat. So that's how the chapter ends off, though. And my chapter question for you, though, brothers and sisters, is what were your thoughts on obviously these, you know, this particular team just completely shattering all records for this phase of the exam and seemingly reaching the end of it and the tower in just 97 minutes. Let me know what your answer to the question is in the comments down below. Feel free to hit the thumbs up, the like button if you should think that I deserve it, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We look forward to catching all of you in the next one, Nation.
Remember to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and my other channel.